Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I'm RJ Horner, beacon of life and leadership, one of the lead teachers in the Beacon of Leadership community. And we're always excited to have interviews of people who are involved in our community. Gary has certainly been involved in our community, our guest today. He is also a Beacon nominee. And by being involved in our community, you'll learn a lot more about that and what it means. But we're excited to present people in our community, especially people who have things that they want to teach that are very valuable to you out there. And
Mm.
Gary Gradley is he is a purpose and passion coach is the only way to describe him. He wants you to succeed. He wants you to find that path that's going to help lead you through to a better life. And today he's bringing us with us something very exciting: how to create clarity and certainty in an uncertain world. And look, with everything we've gone through over the last couple of years, COVID, violence, war, civil unrest in the US, just so much going on that has been almost chaos, really. It'd be nice to have some calm, peaceful clarity moving forward. So Gary is here to talk about his upcoming program and a challenge that he's putting on, how to create clarity and certainty in an uncertain world. Gary Gradley, thank you for joining us today. Tell people a little bit more about yourself first.
Yes, thanks, RJ. Appreciate that. And I greatly appreciate the work that you and Curtis and Linda are doing. I think it's profound. I think it's needed. And you are a great example of you following your heart. And I am as well. We all have our individual purposes to make a positive difference in the world. And so I'm following my heart with a burning passion to help like 100 people get clarity on their highest purpose and step into that and serve this hurting world here coming up in 2023. And so that comes from my own background of when I followed my heart. It's always been the best decision. And for you as a listener, ask yourself, well, what's been your experience when you follow your heart? Hmm? And maybe there were challenges too, but I'm sure that we learned a lot from those challenges. And ultimately, my experience has been it's been the best decision when I follow my heart. And yeah, we want to be strategic and we want to do all that as well. And especially in these uncertain times, like probably the most chaotic in our lifetimes, what we're experiencing here, and including inflation and what's going to happen in 2023. And so if you are feeling uncertain, as I'm thinking many people are, I just got off another call and someone was very concerned about their family member and the increase in mortgage, premium because of the increased interest rates, which was becoming difficult for them. That often it raises for us. So how does it make you feel when you feel uncertain? Well, what are the emotions that you might be experiencing? Maybe anxiety, worry, doubt, fear, maybe even hopelessness. Hopefully not. I've been there, being hopeless. It's a really, really bad place to be. I would not recommend it at all. However, there is powerful ways that we can increase our certainty in an uncertain world. And so we'll probably talk more about that.
Absolutely. I like that you say you came from a place of chaos and, like struggle that you had to come through yourself. I think any quality leader has lived through something like that because we now teach from our experience. We teach from a place of, I've been through this. I don't want to go through it again myself. I don't want to see anybody else go through something like that. Let's do what we can to help people find a better place. And for me, it's been, 10 plus years since I've been in that place. In fact, just over 10 years now since I've been in that place where, you question life, you question your purpose, you question why you're around. And I don't wish that on anybody. That's why I do what I do as well as you would. So, and what you're looking at here is shortening that curve quite a bit, where for you it's been years as well. For me, it's been 10 years. We can probably help people do that within this next year, within the next several months, get some good quality certainty in their life, get a good direction of where they're going. And look, I'm one of your clients. I've worked with you on this, and it just reaffirmed the work that I'm doing. It
Yes.
aligned me in such a place that now I have no doubt of the work I do, and I just go out and do it. And that's what Gary's talking about here, is just, how do you know for sure that this is what I want to do? This is what I'm meant to do. And how do we go about and just reaching the people who need to hear our story? So, Gary, tell us a little bit more about how we go, maybe from that uncertain place. How do we go from uncertainty to this desire, this passion that we have to create?
Yes, absolutely. And so let me share my own story in that context, which people will be able to relate to in the context that they're in right now, and what I learned and what we're sharing as a result of that learning. And so here I am, in my own corporate training business, working with a couple thousand people every year, and earning a good six-figure income, having positive impact until the 2008, 2009, Great Recession, global financial crisis, where corporations usually spend $0 on speakers and trainers. And so I'm working extremely hard for an entire year, and I have zero income. And I rack up $50,000 in credit card debt, as a single family income earner. And I actually become hopeless, and I become cynical, and I lose my hope. It was the worst experience I've ever had. And maybe some of you can relate to this, whatever tough place that you might be in. And thank God, I remember one February 2009 morning, I'm sitting in my side office over here, and I just realized I'm sick and tired of feeling sick and tired, and I will never choose to feel hopeless ever again. And then the light bulb went off. I had an epiphany, right? Like, oh, Gary, it's just a choice. You can choose to feel hopeless, or you can choose to feel hope. And I decided in that moment I would never choose hopelessness ever again. And so that made me realize, and then it was a transforming point from there on, but it anchored in me the power of our choice, and the power of our personal choice, the power of us choosing our thoughts and our feelings and emotions, which we do every single moment, consciously or unconsciously. We're, I think, really choosing either from faith to fear, like one extreme, faith or fear. And so that's one of the key principles that we're helping people to apply to raise their own certainty, because it's all about what we're focused on. Our attention, what we focus on, our attention is like a valuable commodity, just like time. It's like a currency. What we focus on, our attention, is a valuable currency. And so we want to choose, the best that we want to focus on, and collecting positive evidence. And so out of that also came me writing a great book called The Kingdom Promise: How Leading Canadians Choose Faith to Conquer the Storms of Life. And what my experience was there is that as I heard all these stories of business leaders, church leaders, community leaders, of how literally God got them through their major life crises, from divorce to bankruptcy to serious illness to loss of a loved one, that evidence for me gave me the faith that God would also have my back, which gave me the assurance and the certainty that raised my faith from 2 out of 10 to like an 8 out of 10. Right? It was that faith and belief. And literally in 2 years, I paid off that $50,000 in credit card debt because of the faith, because of the belief. And so these are all key elements. And what I learned from this was literally 7 key mindset principles. Kevin, 7, just choosing faith over fears was one of them. And there's many, many more, including gratitude and the power of faith, and the power of prayer, and the power of taking massive action, inspired action. So we'll be unpacking these when we do this complimentary webinar here coming up January 10th, 11th, and 12th. And so that you can learn some of the key things that I went through during the last major recession. And so that's going to be powerful for you as you join us for that. And we'll give you more details here shortly.
Absolutely. And I like what you said, that you had a moment of choice, because we can all choose. First of all, many of us focus on those negative aspects, those negative self-talk that we're telling ourselves. I'm experiencing this hardship and I don't like it. And you know what I mean? So these are things we're focusing on. So it just brings more of these things that we continue to focus on.
Yeah.
But then you made a choice not to focus on this stuff anymore. You were going to make a choice to look at the good things, look at the positive, look at better ways to explore your possibility. And I saw a post out there a while back saying at any given day, we can make a choice to live a better life. And my response immediately was no, any given moment. So you know what? You may be experiencing and listening to this right now and going, oh, but my life is crap. Well, guess what? Right now, you can change that. Right? You can make that choice. So people need to realize that one concept alone can change their life from this very moment.
Every single moment we choose. Absolutely. Well said, RJ.
Absolutely. And then so one of the ways to start living that better life, and I mean, you've taught this to me, we've spoken on this many times, is finding your definite purpose in life, finding something that is meant for you or you're meant to do and exploring that. Talk a little bit more about that if you could.
Yeah, so I'm going to ask people just for a moment, just to close their eyes and actually recall a time or the last time when you felt inspired, you were focused, you were high energy, you had in mind, it's just because say you were on purpose, and something that you were loving doing, you were serving something or a project that you're inspired by, and just relive those experiences for a moment. What it felt like in your body, in your emotions, and the energy level state that you were in. Okay, great. Open your eyes when you're ready. And there's power there. You were probably feeling many of the adjectives that I was just sharing, and there's power there. And what I also realized was that, and think of the last time when you were in that place, like you just experienced, and is it true for you that you noticed all the other noise and distractions around you a whole lot less? Like you were aware of them, but you were not distracted by them because you were focused, you were on purpose. It's like the we take our magnifying glass here, all right, and we're gonna marshal the sun's energy through here into a really focused point, like a narrow, and we know there's power there, just like a laser beam. And purpose, your purpose and passion does the same thing for you. It enables you to be focused and have power and burn through obstacles and not be distracted by all the uncertainty in the world. So that's the real power, the power of purpose to increase your own certainty in an uncertain world. And so that's what we help people to do in a very logical, systematic, and intuitive process. And the kickoff for January for the webinar challenge is really a combination of both these 7 mindset principles that are proven, as well as getting more insight into the power of purpose for you for 2023.
And I'm not sure if you noticed, Gary, there, but when you were using the magnifying glass, you actually have a light shining over your shoulder there, and it was shining right into the magnifying glass so that it was actually focusing on that magnifying glass. And imagine what expands from there and creates that ultimate clarity. Like I said, when my coach, well, our coach, Amit, he once said to me, like, because I still had doubts of whether I should be doing this or what I should be doing. And he said, you know what? I see you much like a beacon where you're opening up possibility for people. You're shining the light on these details. And from that moment on, it really has been just straightforward. I know what I'm doing. I'm clear about my purpose, and I just go out there and do it. So whereas, where have you experienced that moment where you're being inspired? I'm experiencing that right now. I know what I'm doing, and I'm not distracted by all these other things that may be happening. In much as, look, I'm managing a full-time job, a part-time job, a business, and my family life all at the same time. But I'm managing these quite well. You know what I mean? Nobody's suffering. My job's not hurting. My part-time job, I can manage that in my spare time. My business, we're finding time to connect, and so I'm in that clear focused space right now. And that's an example, like I said, of working with you, and certainly refining my purpose. But it's also like, again, when you're in a clear space, you're able to manage all of these things because there's really no outside interference with what you've got going on in your life.
It reminds me, I'd like to share a couple of statistics um, that about the power of purpose. I just need to grab them here.
Yep.
And I think this is amazing. So this was pulled together by some of the top consulting firms throughout North America, the Ernst and Youngs, the Price Waterhouse Coopers, and so on. And so this is profound for purpose individuals. This is what they found. They found a 42% greater commitment and reduction in fear and anxiety, 539% greater resiliency and grit. I would say we need, society needs that right now. Better health, better mental, emotional health and function, 54% more abundant relationships and feelings of being in love. We all want to be in love. Someone who's focused on purpose is 2 times as likely to have daily learning, 4 times as likely to be engaged, and 5 times more productive. That explains what you're doing right now, right?
Yeah,
That's the stat behind it. And there's many, many other great stats and companies as well that are purpose driven. The stats are off the chart in terms of business performance and in terms of engagement. So yeah, it's there's power here. There's power in purpose, especially in uncertain times.
Absolutely. And then one of the things you teach, and I'm sure you're going to touch on it during your challenge, your 3-day challenge, but it's the Ikigai principle. That was one that really reaffirmed that this is what I was meant to do. Can you maybe give people a quick overview of what this Ikigai principle is all about?
Yeah, absolutely. So the Ikigai purpose model, it's really came from Japan, and the culture there is one of the blue zones, the longest living, like 100+ year average lifespan, and so it comes from their culture and so on. So it's really 4 spheres. One is what I love to do, what the world needs, what I can get paid for, and what I'm good at, and it's the intersection of these a Venn diagram. It's the intersection of these that helps us to create clarity on our passion, what we love and what we're good at, our mission, which is what the world needs and what we love, and so on. There's some other key elements, but the reason why it's comprehensive. So it's not just about passion. It's not just about following our heart like potentially a starving artist where they're unsuccessful because they didn't. Yes, they're following their heart. And usually when you follow your heart and you're passionate, you're good at it. That's good. But did the world need it? And could you be paid for it? Right. So those are the other key elements that make it comprehensive in terms of, can you be paid for it? Does the world need this? You're good at it and you love it. So it's a model that we use in our purpose workshops going forward. And people can learn more about that, through the challenge that we'll be doing here in January. And yeah, it's a powerful model that we've really unpacked and turned into a self-reflection workshopping process, which is where the real insights come from, right? Is when we actually go through it for ourselves, like you did, and you got that clarity. And when we do that, right, just like you have, your clarity increases, your commitment increases, your confidence increases, and your inspired action increases. And so I say inspired action. That's like it's in spirit, right? It's like soul felt directed. It's not just logical. It's like heartfelt direction, which I believe is always the wisest, right? When we follow our heart, I believe it's the wisest because it comes from source. It comes from the divine, and that's where the truth is.
Mhm. Absolutely. And then, what I want to point out is that this, as much as it's a formula, it's different for everybody because it's focused on you. It's internal working. So you're learning about yourself as you're trying to find that find that path that just belongs to you. It's not about anybody else. So really, it was life affirming for me. So I totally. That's why I'm glad to support you in as much as we can get attention to what you're teaching, because it will bring people even out of a funk. Like you say, it's bringing people out of uncertainty. to a place of understanding, to a place of clarity, to evolve into their passionate purpose.
Yeah, absolutely. Like there's a seed of greatness within you, within each one of us, that's most alive when we're on our purpose, right? And
Mhm.
it activates our personal power. And we can go through like the blazer beam, right? We can go through obstacles and not be distracted by all the uncertainty as well, right? So the power of your purpose that you passionately follow.
Absolutely. So again, we've been talking about this, and we mentioned that you are putting this 3-day challenge together. You and Rosa
Yep.
Lokasingh, you're working on it together. I wanted to give her credit where credit is due. She's not here today, but this is something you guys have put together, working on together. It's your initiative that you're working on together. So
Yep.
tell us a little bit more. We've given the name to people. Mention it again and tell us what this workshop is going to be, and then how people can connect and get involved in this challenge.
Yep, absolutely. Yes. So creating more clarity and certainty in an uncertain world. So it's going to be, we're really going to unpack these 7 proven mindset principles to help you strengthen your mental and emotional resilience, to help you stay on track and overcome any anxiety you might be having, and uncertainty, to really get the next level of clarity for you, which is also going to come from learning more about your alignment to your greatest passion, your purpose, and to really, this is way beyond a New Year's resolution, right? I mean, New Year's resolutions only last, I don't know how many days for 95% of the population, but it's not very long. So this is beyond a New Year's resolution. This is a 3-day challenge to set you up for clarity and confidence and commitment and success in 2023. And again, clarity is power and creates certainty. So join us for this rare opportunity to really experience these key insights, to maybe elevate your own thinking and your own expectations and beliefs for 2023. And people can join us at the URL, which I'm sure you'll put in also later on. There you go.
Well, I
Yeah,
posted
you
it
got it.
here, and I will make sure it's posted on the record when I post the recording, because again, we're not broadcasting. So once we get this recording on YouTube, we'll make sure people know how to they can get involved in this challenge, because again, I'm excited for it, and I hope everybody else will be too.
Yeah, and bring a friend, like bring someone to go through it with you, so you can support each other, as you get this clarity and as you go forward, setting, larger goals in 2023 that will serve you and serve others. So yeah, it's going to be fantastic. We're so much looking forward to it.
And thank you for touching on that, because one of the biggest things is accountability. It's about somebody not only holding you to a standard as you go along, you learn about yourself and you grow. Sharing it with them is putting it out there in the universe, first of all, and then now you guys can maybe meet on the side and work through it and discuss. You know what? Here's what I learned from the challenge. I can do this, and I'm great at this. I think people can pay for it. Here's how we can set it. You know what I mean? So talking through these things with a partner after this challenge will help people take that inspired action that you're talking about.
Yeah, it'll multiply their effectiveness for sure.
For
Right.
sure.
Yeah, because they have support and accountability. Yeah, it's huge.
Awesome,
Yeah.
Gary. Thank you. You've run through this. You've set it up. You've helped people relate to why this is important, and why they should come out on this challenge. But so, is there anything else further that you'd like to say about what you're putting together and why it's so valuable for people?
Yeah, I believe this is critical at this time that we're in on planet Earth. That my heart is that people get clarity on their purpose, so they can step up into their purpose and be fulfilled and have a very positive impact in the world. And we all can make a difference. It's and be fulfilled as we serve others. So that's to me why this is fundamentally critical timing, that you show up at this webinar as a way to kickstart you for 2023, to get more clarity in your purpose and have a greater impact in this hurting world.
Mhm. And because I mean, there are a lot of people who are hurting right now. You know what I mean? From whatever they've been through, they've lost people, they've struggled, they've been out of jobs, and so many other ailments and afflictions that we're trying to fight our way back from. So, you know what? If you're still not in a place of comfort and knowing and belief that things are going to get better. Here's a class that's going to help elevate you and maybe get you into a place of certainty.
Absolutely. That's our commitment. So please join us, and you will find that to be the case for you.
Absolutely. So thank you, Gary, for bringing this to us. I'm glad we were able to present it to people out there. We'll continue to promote it over the next week or two so that people can join you for this program. I think this is going to be amazing, especially leaping or kickstarting 2023, as you like to say. So thank you again for joining us, and thank you for bringing this to us.
Looking forward to it. All right.
Have a good day.